So I've been playing Wuthering Waves for a little over a month now, and I've put in a lot of hours to this game, easily like 100 if not 200 plus hours, and I can easily say I am quite addicted to this. Now I'm here to share with you my experience, what I like, what I dislike about the game, and how Wuthering Waves has actually changed how I view gachas once and for all. And the reason I say this is because back in the days I did try actually some other gachas, but then I realized maybe gachas are just not for me, because every gacha that I tried back in the days, I only lasted like a couple hours before I called it off, and I was mainly playing MMOs. But Wuthering Waves has actually not only make me quit MMOs, but also make me, or more like it made me want to play a lot of other gachas. I've recently started trying out Zenless Zone Zero. I plan on trying out Punishing Grey Ravens. I want to also try Genshin and more like try to give it a proper try, and obviously I'm excited for the upcoming gachas as well. So this is how much this game has gotten me into the gacha scene in my experience and how much I've gotten addicted to this. Now before you wonder like why should you even take my review seriously as somebody who's only played for, well, a little over a month, well, let me introduce you to addiction. So I've been playing for a little over a month, as I mentioned, and I've already pretty much actually played the game. So yeah, the first like region is where like I still don't have like full 100%, even though I'm pretty much getting there. But overall, I've gotten pretty much all the exploration done. I've participated in all the exploration. I've done pretty much all of the quests you could think of, the main story, the side quests, the companion quests, all this stuff. I've done like pretty much everything you could think of. I'm pretty much done with all the quests soon. And even like when it comes to characters, I've obviously grinded quite a lot, my echoes, my weapons, and all that. Keep in mind, I'm pretty much fully free to play with the exception of Lunarite subscription, which is like the one that gives you 90 astrite a day, which is not much really. But even then, my brother, for example, has been playing this game since release, and he has a lot of cool stuff on his account, even though he's been fully free to play, not Lunarite, not Battle Pass, no nothing. So obviously this is like why I also like this game, because it's very generous with pulls. Now do keep in mind though, I also got super unlucky. If I gotten a little bit luckier, I think my account would have even been better. Because when I joined this game, Kartithea was the banner that was ongoing. I think it was like a day or two after Kartithea's banner has been up. That's when I started playing. I've pulled for Kartithea, I've gotten her weapon, and I also had the starter banner because I was a new player, in which I managed pulling Shorekeeper, and I pulled Changli's weapon as well. Keep in mind that all of these pulls, even though I won my 50-50s, I put in like an average of 60 to 70 pulls on every single banner, including the normal banner, by the way, as well for the weapons. And on top of that, Lupa completely bricked my account because I failed the 50-50 on her at a hard 80, and then on top of that I went like 60 pulls over that as well, I think, and 30 pulls for her weapon before the banner was gone, and I didn't have enough pulls for her banner, which really sucked because my RNG was just that awful. But outside of that, like, I would say for a free-to-play player, you could really do a lot. Even right now, I could potentially try to go for Frolova, and as much as I do love Frolova and I loved her story and I really want her, I'm trying to resist so badly because I need Brand for Lupa's team. And I know that even though I would love to have Lupa in my roster and I potentially could get her, I could potentially even get her weapon easily because I do have a few pulls, on top of the fact that I'm already like 30 pulls in, so potentially I could get them both. I don't want to risk it because I need Brand, and I also want to pull for Augusta and all these upcoming banners, so I'm trying to take an L here until she has a rerun in the future. But overall, this is like the free-to-play experience. You can get a lot of stuff for free, you get a lot of pulls, they're very generous with that, but you still slightly need to decide what to skip on, what to pull for, all that stuff. Only initially you just have a massive pool of pulls because you have the whole story to play through, all the events, all the side quests, the exploration, all this stuff. So you have a massive pool of pulls that can actually get you through. But then you hit a point eventually in which obviously you need to kind of like decide what to skip, what to pull for, and later get what you skipped on a rerun and things like that. So that is the only downside for free-to-play players, but I still think it's very generous. Now, when it comes to the gameplay itself, I'm in love with the combat. It's like really, really, really smooth. I love it a lot. I love how there's like the parry system, the dodging, it just feels really good. I also love how you can do things like delaying. For example, in this case, like I can use my E skill. I can delay my auto attack and then I will be like stuck in this loading state. Well, not really stuck because I can get out of it if I want it. But then even though I've not clicked the auto attack for this duration, if I click it now, it would still do the attack that was supposed to happen immediately if I were to do this. So I love this kind of thing, like delaying some of the attacks and things like that. I also love how they added like 2 forms for Kartithea, for example. It adds a little bit of extra layer of skill. Even though the combat at its like face value is pretty straightforward and easy to learn, I love how there is an advanced complexity to it for players that are like more try hard and like to, you know, fine tune their combos and things like that. Also, echoes are pretty cool. I love how there's like a lot of variety with echoes. You have echoes like this or echoes like this that transform and all this stuff. And the fact that you could also like pretty much infinitely grind echoes is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Like, even though once again, I've not been playing for long, I pretty much have, I would say, very decent echoes. I've been grinding obviously a lot. My echoes are not perfect stats, but I think for somebody that has not been playing for too long, I would say they're pretty good. So that is also something that I would like to talk about, the fact that your echoes are not even that extremely bad as people make it to be. They have a layer of RNG, obviously. They can get annoying, but overall, they're not extremely bad. You can get like very decent or even above decent echo stats quite fast, in my opinion, as long as you're putting in the hours and actually grinding. Now, when it comes to the lore and the storytelling, honestly, the world, the lore, the storytelling, plus the music, I'm putting all of these together because these are the main factors as to why I got addicted to this game and why I fell in love with this game. The world is just like fantastic, and the addition of flying on top of it just makes it even better because it just makes exploration a lot more engaging, a lot more fun, faster to go through, which I really love. Serena C, that was actually a turning point for me in the game. 1.0 and all that stuff, like the initial parts of the story, honestly, it was good overall, but it was rough around the edges in a lot of aspects. But once I hit Renacida, that's when it kicked in the most. And honestly, like the music, the voice acting, all that stuff on top, the storytelling as well, has been just fantastic, which made me like fall in love with the game at face value. Now, do keep in mind that obviously the story will have some parts that are not necessarily the best, especially in 1.0 and beyond. But once you hit Renacida and above, that's when I feel like it really picks up. And also something that I have to give to them is the voice acting. Once again, 1.0 was a little but as you go higher and higher, the voice acting gets progressively better. And usually I don't like English voice acting in pretty much any game, really, for the most part. But in this one, I have to say, like, I love the voice acting. It's really well done. Even the English voice acting, I still would have to say the Chinese voice acting, even though I don't understand Chinese, sounds a lot better. But English voice acting is still pretty cool, and I use it as I play because I think it's really well made. So overall, the game has a lot of things that I think are pro. The events also are pretty damn good when it comes to the amount of Astrite they give. The events themselves, however, some are good, some are annoying. For example, this new one, honestly, I find pretty tedious. It could be just me. Some events I really disliked, some events I really liked. The most recent one with Lupa was the banner one. I loved this kind of event. This is one of the dislikes, though, the overall event thing. I would love for them to introduce events like this more often, because this event was more about combat. It had a unique leveling system. It was just pretty cool overall, and you could skip parts of it as well if you were good enough. There is this event here for Shakona, for example, that I absolutely loved, because mostly in events you skip like all the dialogues and all this stuff. But in this one, for example, I love the dialogue. The cutscenes were really well made. I feel like it was one of the most immersive ones. It had like also like 3 different endings. I absolutely love this kind of event as well. So I would love to see more events like this in the future that are more about the game, about exploring, about like seeing different lores, with cutscenes that are voice acted. I would love to see things that are about combat and less mini games that are just like annoying to play through. I honestly dislike a lot of the mini games in these events, but that could be just my own personal opinion. But once again, generally, I would love to see more events like the ones that I've mentioned, in which like I could actually explore the world more, explore the lore more, engage in the combat, engage in the world, the sceneries, all the stuff. That would be just like a lot better for me. All in all, I would give this game like a solid 8, 9 out of 10. I know that I might be over exaggerating here to some people, but honestly, the reason I give it this rating is because I connected with this game on that level, to the point that even like when it comes to the lore, I'm usually not a sentimental person, but I find huge attachment to this game and some of the characters because of how well made the story is and how the storytelling is going. So overall, the fact that this game managed getting me into the gacha scene made me want to play more gachas in the first place and quit MMOs altogether. That is why I rate it like very up there on the list. And I will still like try out other gachas. I started already playing Zenless Zone Zero for the first time. I've been putting in some hours there. I plan on giving Genshin a proper try. I did try it in the past, but I couldn't get into it because honestly the combat and the movement were not up my alley. But a lot of people were comparing the lore of Genshin to Wuthering and saying that lore-wise Genshin has better lore and Wuthering Waves has better storytelling to make the lore more engaging to play through. So overall, I want to actually check out Genshin to see if that is correct. I will try to push through it. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe and like this video and turn on the bell notifications, because I will be uploading content for Zenless, for Genshin, all this stuff. Start like checking them out, comparing them to Wuthering. And obviously, come check me out on Twitch if you're interested in watching me play through these games as well. But yeah, that is all for my review for the game. Hope you enjoyed it. And with that out of the way, until the next one, peace.